Sunday on Denver 7, President Biden is on his way to a community in mourning. This comes as more information about that tragic day that led to the deaths of 19 children and 2 teachers in Uvalde, Texas, is coming forward.
The head of the Texas Rangers was pretty clear. These officers did not follow training they received just 2 months ago.
How the parents of one Colorado shooting victim are offering support across the country. And if your wallet is feeling the heat ahead of your Memorial Day barbecue, you're not the only one. We're taking a closer look at the unexpected costs of this weekend. And a little later,
I felt kind of cheated. That would be such a huge weight off my shoulders because I don't have to worry about my parents.
We'll find out any day now if some student loans will be forgiven. We're going 360 in depth on how Coloradans feel about what's on the table. Good morning and welcome to Denver 7 News. I'm Jessica Crawford. Here's a look at what's happening across the metro today. Wow Children's Museum is having a fundraiser. There's going to be an afternoon full of carnival games, face painting, and a silent auction with all proceeds supporting the museum. It starts at 1 o'clock off Harrison Avenue in Lafayette. The Denver Arts Festival is back for its 23rd year. It aims to showcase Colorado and artists from across the nation. It's at Central Park starting at 10 a.m. For more information, you can head to denverartsfestival.com. The Colorado Veterans Project is hosting its Memorial Day run today. The race raises money for veterans experiencing homelessness. In addition to a traditional race course, you can also ruck march carrying a 25 rucksack full of non-perishable foods to be donated post-race. Registration's already underway and the race starts at 8 o'clock. You can also complete a virtual race through Tuesday. Now let's take a look outside from our Lookout Mountain camera. Meteorologist Stacy Donaldson is with us this morning, 7:01, and there's some rain coming our way later today.
There is. We have rain up in the higher elevations right now. Still looks pretty good here across the Front Range up at Boulder. All of the festivities going on for our Boulder starting tomorrow, but it looks great there. Up at Winter Park, this is what it looks like now with some rain and some light snowfall falling in the higher elevations with cloudy skies. Right now in Denver, though, we have 57 degrees, partly to mostly cloudy conditions out there. At this point, our humidity at 49% and our temperatures in the 50s and 60s here for the Front Range and eastern Colorado. Up in the mountains, 30s and 40s at this point. We have 50 degrees downtown, 54 in Centennial and 50 in Littleton with 30s and 40s off to our west into the higher elevations. And so far, we've just seen the cloud cover here across eastern Colorado, and then we have the rain and the snowfall just getting going up in the high country. So today you can expect more wet weather in the mountains than you can here for the Front Range, but we are expecting some of these showers to move in as we go into the later part of the day. General thunderstorms here, severe thunderstorms up into the central U.S. if you're traveling that direction. We'll talk more about the changes taking place for the rest of our holiday weekend in just a few minutes.
Stacy, thank you. Well, this is a live look at the growing memorial in Uvalde, Texas this morning after 21 lives were taken last week. President Biden, along with First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, are making their way to show support to the community later today. Here's ABC's Christine Sloan.
Today, President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden will travel to Uvalde, Texas, as the community continues to grieve the 21 lives lost in a horrific school shooting. Memorials continue to grow as the recovery continues for those hurt in the attack. Among them, Noah Orona. Video shows him at an awards ceremony at Robb Elementary before the shooting. He was later shot. The bullet went through his back and out his shoulder. His parents say he played dead while waiting more than an hour for help.
He saw his teacher get shot and land on top of one of his classmates. I'm not sure who at this point for sure, but
the other teacher was shielding the children.
Investigators say a teacher propped open a school door at 11:27, which the shooter used to enter the school. At 11:33, he targeted classrooms 111 and 112. 2 minutes later, 7 Uvalde police officers are inside the school, but did not breach the classroom. Officials say School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo wrongly believed it was no longer an active shooter situation, but a barricaded subject. But from 12:03 to 12:47, students were dialing 911 from inside the classroom, begging for help. Meantime, 19 officers were in the hallway outside those classrooms. It wasn't until 12:50 that authorities used a key to enter the classroom and killed the shooter. The district trained for this type of situation back in March, practicing scenarios and utilizing the state's extensive course manual, which advises that first responders should not wait, saying the best hope that innocent victims have is that officers immediately move into action, adding a first responder unwilling to place the lives of the innocent above their own safety should consider another career field.
The head of the Texas Rangers was pretty clear. These officers did not follow training they received just 2 months ago.
Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
And it's not just Texas that is grieving a loss this morning. Vice President Kamala Harris spent Saturday at a funeral in Buffalo, New York, where 10 people were shot and killed in a racially motivated mass shooting just 2 weeks ago.
Enough is enough. We will come together based on what we all know we have in common, and we will not let those people who are motivated by hate separate us or make us feel fear.
From Buffalo to Texas and more than a dozen other places struck by tragedy, the parents of an Aurora Theater shooting victim show up and support victims' families and survivors. They're helping them cope with their trauma. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live. And Christian, the couple was in Buffalo helping after that mass shooting. Now they're headed to Uvalde.
Yeah, they are, Jessica. This couple lost their 24-year-old daughter in the Aurora movie theater shooting nearly 10 years ago. And ever since then, they've made it their mission to honor her by making sure that no other families have to go through something like this alone. Sandy and Lonnie Phillips lost their daughter Jessie about 10 years ago. And just recently, they were in Buffalo, New York after the grocery store mass shooting. And while they were there, they learned about the shooting in Uvalde and they booked a flight to Texas. This is now the 20th tragedy that they've been to, and while they praise changes in state laws, they are calling on the federal government to do more.
It continues to happen because our politicians will not grow a backbone and do what's right for this country and the people of this country. If we don't do something and do it quickly, every single person in America will be affected by gun violence in one way or another.
And this couple has a nonprofit called Survivors Empowered, and if you'd like to support their efforts, we have a link on our website, thedenverchannel.com. Live this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Christian, thank you. The NRA Convention in Houston is wrapping up today, and it's been met with backlash and protesters. The convention is a few hundred miles away from Uvalde and becoming a place for people asking for gun reform to voice their concerns. Inside the convention, prominent Republican figures are condemning the recent violence, but rejected calls for gun reform.
Why'd you decide to come out? Because my daughter is a teacher and she had to learn how to pack bullet wounds in her classroom in order to teach.
I shouldn't go to school and be scared that I could get hurt that day because we can't control our guns.
As always, in the wake of these tragedies, the various gun control policies being pushed by the left would have done nothing to prevent the horror that took place. Absolutely nothing.
Recent data shows the majority of Americans support some kind of action from lawmakers here, and 90% are in support of expanded background checks. If you're about to hit the grocery store for some pre-barbecue prep, this year's holiday might cost you more than you expect. We're taking a look at what's going to drive up numbers at the register.